All right.
Right. Hey guys, we are back.
Episode 2, we are back in the back.
Yeah.
I'm excited for tonight.
Listen, I'm super excited for tonight. So, guys, come on in. Give us some kisses to let us know that you are here. Like,
Put your name and
share.
let's do something different. Put your name in there. Let us know where you're watching from.
Oh, yeah.
That is,
Make sure that you share.
yeah, there's
Share. Oh, my goodness.
kisses. And
Put the kisses in.
we just got a lot of good feedback from last episode with Michael Phillips. There was some controversial stuff we were talking about, and it was not topics. I think I'm in some hot water.
There's some hot water because the phone has been ringing off the hook.
Right. We said,
He thinks it's funny.
yes, we could talk a little bit more tonight. But go back if you have not seen last episode or kickoff with season 3. Go to our YouTube channel at Power52 Official, and you can see our conversation with Michael Phillips there, talking about good soil and all the entrepreneurial opportunities that he was mentioning. So definitely go and go back and watch it.
Yeah, and register for it. Research good soil. If you're an entrepreneur, this definitely could be something you could take advantage of. And I think that so hey, who knows? You can get so many opportunities at the Good Soul Movement.
Yes. So make sure you are doing that. We have none other than the incomparable Jody Davis here. We're excited to have her tonight.
Hey, I can't wait to jump in the car with her. I want to breathe. I want to know what's going on.
That's so nice.
Baby, I'm super excited. But for now, let's talk about why people coming into the booth. Why do we call it the kissing booth? You know what? Been talking about it lately, and so meet us in the booth, in the kissing booth. First reaction you get is, but guess what? People always intrigued. And so when we were toying around with kissing, no, actually, this is what happened. We used to have a newsletter. It was called Soul and Sidebar. It was during COVID, before COVID. And after that, I said, you know what, y'all, we're going to revamp this. And one of our teammates said, hey, let's go live. And so I said, you know what, let's do the Soul and Sidebar kissing booth. And so at first the staff was like, my goodness, that's good. Yeah, guess what? I said, but guess what we do? We kiss the community with resources. And so that's what we're all about here, is giving resources to the community. And, anybody that kisses you, they must know you. You must be familiar. And so it's a warm embrace. And so, and it's a trusted interaction. And so we definitely are trusted in the community, and we definitely want to kiss the community, all types of resources, not just stuff that pertains to environmental justice, because we operate on the front lines of environmental justice, but anything that could, build just possibilities of making it in this life, we're kingdom. Right?
Yep, kingdom building, right. Kingdom building. So that's basically Power 52. So Power 52, we're a nonprofit organization where we provide on-the-job training. Well, not on the job.
No,
where we provide we have a solar training program where we train individuals to become solar panel installers. So it's a 4-month program, 16 weeks, and it's done hybridly. So 80% you get to do from the comfort of your own home. You get credentials and certifications that are recognized in the solar industry. And then we have job placement assistance, where we bring the employers to our trainees to interview our trainees, and then many of them get hired and working in the solar industry at the conclusion of the program. But not only that, we are again in the community. We have a community cleanup coming up soon. We always provide a turkey giveaway during Thanksgiving. So many different other community building opportunities that we have at Power 52. Yes, we're training is no cost to the trainee.
No, but actually there is some cost.
Yes,
your time
and your effort. Yes,
yeah. So we want you to come on board if you're interested. Guess what? We're recruiting right now.
Yes, May 28th and May 28th. So we are recruiting now, so you guys can contact me, you can call me 410-777-9677 or go to our website and you can put in your information there. See you.
No, the files are available because guess what? Some people are already in there because we had to push them to this cohort because they didn't get into the last cohort. But we have an amazing cohort. So shout out to cohort 23. And I know
some of them are watching. Put in the comments, cohort 23. I mean, what they're gridlock 23. Yeah. That was the last cohort. Shout out to cohort 22, the insulated. But here we go. Let's jump into these hot topics. And y'all, we have Jody Davis here in the booth. She's gonna hop in and also comment on these hot topics with us. So Louisiana has passed a bill that will allow everyone 18 years or older to purchase a firearm without a permit. So on July 4th, it will be illegal for adults 18 and up to carry concealed weapons on their person without a permit. The new law does not require the gun owners to register fingerprints or complete any firearm training. And those things are currently required by law. Louisiana. And you know this is New Orleans. You know they already got some trouble down there. But anyway, the law does not restrict. The law does restrict you from carrying the firearms in schools, churches, police stations, courthouses, in the capital. What are y'all thoughts on that?
Nope. And if they did that here, I relocate. Sorry. I love me some big boy, and I rep my set 24/7, baby. No.
That's what?
I'm still doing the cleanup there.
But it's like you're high school being 18. Your mind, I know your mind is still all over the place, and being 18, you still in school and then going to its stuff, and people being right and just doing anything in the instance, anything that's bigger. And yeah, so that's what they're doing here in Louisiana. But not yet. We see some kisses in there. See some kisses in there. Keep on. Okay, here we go. Kentucky. This is interesting. In Kentucky, you can now be put on child support before the child is born. Before the child is baby.
I got so many comments that I can keep.
Yes. So they passed a bill that will make the man legally responsible for child support once the child is conceived. So from conception to birth. This will allow women to request child support up to a year after birth to cover the past pregnancy expenses.
Well, so here's the thing. So the debate is, so many guys are debating this right now because, paternity and all those things. But really, the woman has the responsibility of all of the medical bills and hospital bills. And you see all these where the guy's like, oh, I gave $300 to get rid of the baby, whatever, But let's just say that's not the case, and you're going full term with the pregnancy and all that. Who is covering all of the expenses? And so most times the guys just lay back and say that it's all the women. So I think they want to, prohibit the guy, or make guys more.
And so they would do it.
I guess making them more responsible, and it will make men be more responsible.
Right. So I think they were saying they might be trying to use this as a form of control, population control. And also I think the caveat is that because the women have up to the year after the birth to try to get from those charges. So I think they give the opportunity, if they wanted to test the paternity, they have that side. So you have them. So
I don't like that because some people just aren't honest. And so you already
Right, right. Because I just saw a TikTok, girls in the hospital in labor, and he said he's in there with her. So I don't even know if this child is mine while she's in labor. So, and she's like, "What?" She's like, "You need to leave, cuz if you gonna wait till this man just try to pull this card." So fellas, y'all not making it good for us out here. So I think right, yeah, Kentucky. Well, Kentucky's the South, but and Louisiana the South. So it's the Southern states. Okay, but here we go. We've got to get into some real interesting, juicy type topic right here. Stephen A. Smith. He's saying dating a 7 out of 10 out of look, a woman that is a 7 out of 10 is better than dating a 10 out of 10. So let's watch this clip and hear all that he has to say.
Listen, I want the ladies to listen, but all the men, there's no man alive that would disagree with what I'm about to say. You want a strong 7. Let me tell you why. 10, fine as all get out, tat out, body, looking fine, everything like that, got it going on. Too much maintenance. Too much, because she knows she fine. And you're expendable. She could take you or leave you. A 9, that's a problem too. Because you got enough people telling her she's a 10, so half of them acting that way. And by the way, the ones that ain't acting that way still require more from you than what others might. And so you got to be up on your game. That's problematic. 8, that's ideal. Because that's really, really good looking. She got it going on. But at the same time, there's a level of independence that comes with it, which is never a bad thing until she's so independent that she's making you feel like you need to be more dependent on her than she needs to be on you.
Okay. This is utter foolishness. I think it's fool. Well, so it's interesting enough. So when I was in high school, it was this guy, and I'm not going to say his name, but he was fine. And so, you would just imagine that, oh my goodness, his girlfriend would just be, the flyest girl in school. And, because really he was just so cute. He could have anybody. Well, his girlfriends were all like, I want to say 7s. And so basically that was his frame of mind. He said, oh no. And for me, I always thought it was like a control thing. I want to date these 7s because then I'm a 10 and I'm going to be the cutest one in the relationship or whatever, but literally this, I'm telling you, back then, this was the mindset. And I feel that, men that operate like that, it's insecurity, like they're insecure and maybe they're competing. Maybe they feel like they aren't worthy of a 10, and somebody could just come and scoop the 10, but who's going to really just come and scoop the 7? I don't know.
But he's saying basically you don't want a 10 because too much maintenance. I just think it's very, beneficial for them. He's saying I ain't got, if I date a 10, I got to put out too much money to keep her maintained, keep her looking nice. And so he's saying as you go down, he's saying, and he says further in here, he says a 7 looks like an 8, but their mind is different. And he says,
I know what he's saying.
But he says they appreciate, I guess, the attention from a man or being in a relationship.
Control.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm sure, I wonder if we asked him, what does he think he is on the scale of 1 to 10?
Because the comments, people wilding, people were saying, this is coming from a 4. So like, so
Yeah, because people would like to. But I'm saying, but I'm sure he's a successful Black man. I'm sure women are on him, so
All
he
the time.
probably thinks that he's a 10.
Mhm.
And so with that, I need a 7. And when you do that for me, again, even though I know what he's saying, it's all about control.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
pretty
but
much
do
what
you
he's
think?
saying. That's
Because
pretty,
who
he-
goes after a 7 in
if
anything?
if you could get the 10, why not get?
The 10.
When
'Cause I guess he
because
said
if
he
you're
wants
a
it too much.
10, because my thing is a true 10 is somebody like Miss Jody Davis. No, but what I'm saying is a true 10 is someone taking care of themselves, powerful, and they are, they're not dependent on the man.
Right.
Mhm.
That's a true 10. They, have their own career, they're making their own money,
Mhm.
they're doing their own thing. So the guy who comes alongside her, they shouldn't even be worried about what he has to do for the person who, has all this. Now, I will say that when you do have your own business and when you are doing that, like Jody, okay, if you're walking down the street, I'm sure you've had instances, and even though you are in a relationship, hey, everyone, she's in a relationship. But I'm just saying, I'm sure you can relate to someone saying, oh, I didn't even approach you because I knew I couldn't afford you. Or I knew that, you weren't, not approachable. I couldn't afford you and all those things. I think, and so with that, the guy, it's just an assumption that,
Mhm.
that means that I got to take care of you.
Right.
When
Mhm.
it is the exact opposite, because you have your own things.
Right.
And
So
so,
that's what I was about to say. Because
yeah.
if you're a 10, if the person is a 10 and you like, oh, now with her, I'm gonna have to make sure I keep her maintained. She not going to maintain herself. So it's like if you are now, she's going to be at a point. He was talking about the 8 or 7 has more independence, but I'm like the 10 probably got more independence because she's keeping herself on that standard.
Right, but
He
but
just
see,
want-
you know what? Maybe this is falling into the stereotype of because you're pretty and you like nice things, you can't possibly be smart.
Right.
You
Maybe
can't
that's it,
possibly be a go-getter.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
She could be
that's
all
too.
those things.
Yeah,
Mm, oh.
because he's saying that the 7 and the 8s are the ones that's
Right.
working hard and have stuff. So
And
you
doing for
can't be a
themselves.
10. So what is he actually
And
saying
is he
about
saying
women?
as a 10, is he only talking about your appearance? Is he talking
Ooh.
about anything else?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
That's a good
So yeah. So anyway, I don't know, guys. What are you
We
thinking out
see.
there?
Let me
And
see. I see this one comment from Alex Williams.
yeah,
He said the level of fitness is fineness. So
Fineness.
it's not the only measurement of leverage, and it boils down to the leverage in superficial relationships. Oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And
He's
yep,
saying
I
look
agree
for
with
it
that.
in the inside,
Yeah. Yes.
in the heart.
The heart. I want your heart to
7
be 7
out
to
of
10. All
all
have
have
options.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, all right.
All right. Now.
So also today, because I'm gonna go home and watch it and see if my mama is on there. The Freaknik documentary has dropped because I have already let her know if I catch her on there, there's gonna be some repercussions and consequences.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Because they was, in the ad they're saying y'all mamas got down. I said not mama, not my mama. So she's in the comments too. She said, "Don't do me."
Okay.
But that dropped. I'm interested to see that because every generation scrutinizes the generation after it. But they're saying now, saying they was getting down just like this generation getting down. It was just a little private, more private.
Yes.
Right. But you know what? It was only private because there was no social media.
Right.
And so, it's so interesting. So I have 3 teenagers. Please, everyone, pray for me. all of you out there in the booth, out in Kiss World, please pray for me. But it's so funny, and don't judge me. But my kids, literally, we were all together a few weeks ago, and they said, "Oh, mommy, what was the, everybody's
nobody talks about the music now. What was the kind of stuff questionable? That Wooger, they call my mother Wooger, that she was fussing about. Play me some stuff. Oh my goodness.
That 90s talking about too close.
Oh my goodness. So I played them some Uncle Luke. Oh my, they were like, oh my goodness. And some what was that one? Put it in your something. Oh, anyway, I'm not gonna say it. Oh my goodness. Was not Machiavelli, but something, not Akinelli. That's y'all know who it is. All y'all out in them comments. Akinelli. Y'all know that song.
Why?
Yeah.
My mother said, let me make a playlist.
Okay. So
that was OPP out there.
all that stuff. So I played it all.
What
and
I'm hearing is that Gen X blazed the trail of ratchetness. They was the pre-ratchet.
Right. But so interesting enough is that even in our parents' generations, come on now, sexual healing.
Right.
Yeah, because Marvin was wild, especially at the end of that song. I said, oh.
Exactly.
Smoky basements and
Right. Right.
Right. Oh yeah.
It just evolves every generation.
I remember the one part of the song, I'll be your lollipop. Oh yeah. My mom was like, "Woo, turn it off. Turn it off." We was like, "Woo, what's they talking about?"
Right. Just going over your head till one day you listen to you get, oh, wait a minute. Hold up. I know this. I think it's been a couple times I listening just regular 90s R&B, and so all of a sudden now I'm 26. Hold up now. Hold on. I'm understanding it a little bit differently what they're saying. But here we go. We got this last hot topic. I guess will probably get me in more trouble.
Oh no.
So we gotten so much feedback from last episode's hot topics when we were talking about relationships and all that. So we have a follow-up question.
Oh yeah.
So when we were referring to the topic of, if you own a business or something like that, is it what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine? And so the people were, the people is us. We were saying, depending on what it is, like a business wise, is if you started a business for that's your business, and if I have it, that's my business, or depending on the circumstances. So the question has been, the follow-up question has been, okay, since if you do that, of what's yours is yours, what's mine is mine.
And wait a minute, and let me
just finish
say,
asking.
Go ahead.
When the problem arises, if you have that mindset, when you have a problem, see if your business, when the problem arises, is the problem yours or is it ours? So that's
exactly. Yeah. So Jody wasn't here. So did you follow what he was saying?
I did.
Okay. So basically, I felt like the different generation than the younger, the more seasoned generation, X, the best. We felt like, if we are together, then they're our businesses, right? Now I know individuals who operate no, this is my, hair, my barbershop, and that is my wife's boutique. Then I know other couples who just say, no, my husband and I have a boutique and a barbershop.
Right.
So out of this, it's just like, okay, so now, homeboy, you want to operate, that's your barbershop and this my boutique. Now that the barbershop is on fire, now you go ahead and take care of that. I'm not coming in. That's your issue. Why are you talking to me about it? Baby, those are your issues. I'm still going out spending money. I'm going shopping. Now, you said that's your barbershop.
See, but here it go. If a problem comes, if I want to ask for advice, I can ask for advice. What you think I can do? So I can handle it. I can still handle it.
Oh, okay, you're right.
But I'ma definitely be asked what you think. What should I be doing?
And guess what? And I can give you all the advice, but when it comes to the money, Jesus paid.
I don't know. What would you say? What would you say? Would the problem be yours or ours?
The problem, in my case, the problem will be ours. I think, like, say, okay, this is his barbershop and this is my boutique. But you're saying it because each person is working in individually. But if a problem arises or one or the other needs some help, I think that's when it comes ours. Like,
okay.
yeah.
So you're saying that you're okay with, us identifying as separate,
Right.
But the
But you're working
overarching
together.
theme is
You're
that
together.
we're
It's
still doing
together.
it. So let me ask this. So is the man helping to push your business just as well as the woman trying to push his business?
I would say yes. Yeah.
Right.
And that means partnership.
Right.
I can see that.
Yeah.
See, she changing the context of the original question, and we don't have time to address it. But here we go. Let's get ready to get into the show. All right, we have Jody Davis here tonight. She is a fashion designer. I want to say a fashion icon, because if y'all saw her, what she has on, she's bad. And she most recently has been gotten a lot of traction and popularity over designing for the mayor, the governor's wife, the first lady of the state of Maryland, Dawn Moore. So we have her with us tonight, and we're going to go have runway revelations tonight, behind the scenes, and get into her career in fashion and everything.
Yes, welcome to the booth, Jody. I have been trying.
So excited to be here.
I have been trying to get her in here for some time now. Let me tell you how I chased y'all. Let me tell you how I had to chase her down. I didn't know who I was dealing with, and so as you know, I literally, I had my own grace to cover of Baltimore Magazine for the 2023 Game Changers award that I won last year, and so I said, "Oh, I know who I want to style me." Baby, I didn't know she was high in demand like this. Okay. Sent the email and never heard back. And, but she does communicate. I'm just going to say this, the Lord's timing, guys. We're going to say that. It was all in due season. But I did not give up. I circled back and I said, for the actual event, I said, so if anybody saw me, and Lord, wish we had a picture, then you could have seen that she did style me for the event. And so I got so many compliments that night. People were coming up to me saying, "That's Jody Davis, isn't it?" And I said, "Okay, now." Yeah. And so, she made, and guess what? This shirt that I'm wearing right now, Jody Davis. I had to pay homage.
Thank you.
Yes.
Amazing.
And so, so the quality is amazing. And I wanted to get in one of her pieces before I even felt the quality. And so it just intrigued me. So finally I go to her shop, and I think I stayed there for about an hour.
Yeah.
We were there for about an hour talking.
It didn't seem like an hour, but we were
It
there a good time.
Stayed there for about an hour, and so we clicked right away.
We did.
And I mean, I was just intrigued by her story, and so I said, "You know what, Jody, you got to come in the booth, because I know that there are some individuals out there, some budding entrepreneurs in fashion, that would love to hear how you did it all." So we're here to what's behind the scenes. How did you get started? What got you into fashion?
Well, I will tell you that I way back in high school, I didn't realize that what I looked at as a hobby was actually my gift. I remember a time when I used to write in my journal, or a calendar. I would have a calendar to write down everything that I wore, so that I wouldn't wear it again. And somehow I was able to do it over a month's time, like not wear the same thing over a month's time. And don't ask me how I was able to do it, but I was able to do it. But when I graduated from high school, I thought I was going to be a veterinarian. That was my goal. I wanted to be a veterinarian. And I say God moves in mysterious ways. So the summer I graduated from Western High School here in Baltimore.
All right, where's the doves? There's some doves watching.
The doves are in the house.
I know, there's some watching.
Yes. So I graduated from Western High School. and I started applying. Well, I was about to apply to a veterinarian school, and the dog that I had at the time, he got sick, where his eyes turned the color of the sky blue, and I literally was running from him in pure terror. We took him to the vet. We found out he just had like a liver infection, so we just had to put medicine in his food. But I said that was God's way of saying you are not.
That's not good.
Right.
You not built for that.
So he can't handle these eyes when it comes to operating.
Right. Oh my goodness.
And at that time, I had just started sewing. Like back then, they had a home ec class, and I was able to take a home ec class, and I made a red corduroy skirt. One of the only students that was able to make something that was wearable. But still, I didn't know that was my calling. And then over time, I started making prom dresses, bridesmaids dresses, probably a couple of wedding dresses, coats, jackets, you name it, I did it. And over the period of about 7 years of me looking at it as a hobby, then I realized that this is actually more than just a hobby. And while I was doing that, I was working for the government. I worked at Social Security Administration in Baltimore.
Oh, wow.
And when I finally decided that I wanted to go to Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City, I had to apply. You had to go apply. I applied, and then I put my resignation in at Social Security.
Oh, wow.
When I put my resignation in, nobody tried to talk me out of it. Probably because at this point I started acting like I was doing them a favor by coming in. Like it was like, right, it was time for me to go. In applying at FIT, I didn't initially get accepted. You had to come in with 3 garments and some sketches, a portfolio. So my garments passed the test, and my sketches were horrible. So the counselor that I got at the time, she suggested that I take 2 classes in New York City, my 2 draping classes to start, and then I take 2 classes at a community college in Baltimore, art classes. And mind you, I had quit the job, so I didn't have money. Like, how am I going to
that's what I was
afford?
getting ready to say.
Yeah. But God, somehow, some way, like little small jobs that I was doing, making clothes, helped me pay for my trips back and forth to New York. So for a whole semester, I commuted back and forth to New York on the weekend. For the first 2 classes, I would go to New York on Friday night, catch the train up, stay at a hotel, go to class on Saturday, and catch the train back. But then I couldn't afford it. So I would have to get on that 4:00 train in the morning, leaving Baltimore to get to New York by 7 or 8. Take my classes, and back then the last train left New York maybe like at 6:20. Class was over at 6:00. So I literally had to run from class to get to the train station in order to catch that last train back to Baltimore.
Wow.
And so I was able to complete that semester, and I went back for my second interview, and I say it all the time, as fate would have it, I got the same counselor. And I said, these are the things you suggested I do. I took my 2 classes in Baltimore, art classes. I took my 2 classes in New York City, draping classes, and here's my portfolio. And I say what she responded after that was the thing that changed my life, the trajectory of my life. She said, I don't need to see your portfolio. Your determination showed that you wouldn't want to be here. So you are accepted into FIT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was accepted at FIT. I graduated with a degree in both fashion and accessory design. And after like 3.5 years, 4 years in New York City, I was literally burnt out. Like New York City can be
I'm sure.
Tough. It was a great experience, but it still could be a little tough. So I moved to the Washington, D.C. area. Took a semester at Howard because I was going to go and get my degree in business. But what I didn't realize at the time, at FIT, we took maybe 4 classes, but the classes were 3 or 4 hours long. But at Howard, the classes were like 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I figured, I can take 8 classes. I took 8 classes.
Oh, man.
The first semester, and I pretty much failed every one of them because for every class that you take, you need 2 or 3 hours in the evening to study. So, needless to say, I didn't I didn't finish that semester. I finished that semester failing, and I didn't continue that with Howard. And then while in Washington D.C., I worked at Neiman Marcus. I worked at Neiman Marcus for about 7 years, and by then I'm only wearing my own pieces. I wouldn't buy anybody else's clothes on the sale floor. I was wearing my own clothes. Yeah, and my boss at the time, she over time, she gave me an ultimatum at that 7th year. And she said, either you're going to quit or I'm going to fire you because your clothes should be actually sold on the sales floor. And that was the kick that I needed to get me out there and start designing full time. So I went out on my own. And maybe 2 years into that experience, 9/11 hit. And so the
wow.
business dried up. I had just bought a house and trying to figure out how am I going to survive. Excuse me. And so I had to figure out like how am I going to get to this next level, like, or let alone pay my mortgage. Like I purchased this house.
And you stopped working at
I stopped working at Neiman Marcus and went full time designing. And so after 9/11, I had to figure out what is my next move. And then I was able to go into the mortgage industry. In the mortgage industry, business
was booming.
that was booming.
Yeah.
That was booming.
Okay.
Until it wasn't.
Until that
Until it
bubble.
wasn't. And then that real estate market crashed. So I had to figure out again, what am I going to do? And so I reverted back to what my gift is, designing. And so now I've had my boutique since, I don't know why I'm getting choked up. I've had my boutique now since 2010. And I would say that like I worked at the government for 7 years. I worked at Neiman Marcus for 7 years. And now at my boutique, I've had it for 14 years. And it's like my gifts have been making room and making room and making room. And mind you, as an entrepreneur, there's, there's ebbs and flows, there's ups and downs, there's wins and lessons. And you have to stay the course.
So let me ask you a question. So while you were at your experiences at Neiman's and Saks, how did that lend? Because like right now, I tell my staff all the time, everything in my journey has literally brought me to this moment.
Yes.
Everything, because sometimes they look at me and say, how do you know we know about this stuff? And so literally everything, every place I've worked, every project I've ever worked on, everything I use here now. So I knew that, my journey, like I know that I'm living in my purpose right now because I can pull from every experience in my life and apply it to what I'm doing here. And so many people have told me along the way in working in nonprofit is that, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that you did not, like, I wasn't traditional, like, oh, go to college for social work and or human services and then just, work my way that way. No, I brought all my skill set from this, for-profit and, industries. And now I apply it to what I'm doing now. So, how would you say that was for you?
I would say those experiences, being on the sales floor at Neiman Marcus, working with clients of all different levels, preferences, people that like attention and those that don't, like all of those different experiences, even living in New York City. Like, you have to build your tough skin. You got to be able to be aggressive, but still be humble. So all of that stuff is it's as you said, it's a journey. And one thing leads to the next. I say, put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. You learn what works and what doesn't. That's like, say, if you're cooking and you burn your finger, don't test it. You have to do it. And so, experience is the best teacher.
Okay. So you work at Neiman Marcus, you did all that. Now you're saying, okay, I'm going to do my own brick and mortar. Okay, for the ones who are watching and who's saying, because I'm sure they're hanging on to all your words and probably even have a notepad out because it's so interesting. How do you, get the brick and mortar? How do you then fill it with all Jody Davis designs? Because for me, that would be so intimidating. My first thought would be, I'm getting ready to go to a magic show, right? And buy some other, maybe I'll sit some pieces of my stuff in there because it, let's talk about the process of, creating a line. So a spring line, like, so did you start with spring line, fall line? And what does that journey look like from, sourcing, I learned this stuff, sourcing fabrics. I learned that. Sourcing fabrics and then getting someone to actually make it? Because I know you couldn't possibly just sit there and, do 10 dresses yourself. But what does that look like?
So the process for me is there are designers that will sketch. I am a designer that drapes the patterns on my dress form. The dress form I've had since college, so I still use her. She's my dress form, and I make my patterns on that dress form. And then I have a production team in New York City. But even finding a production team in New York City, you got to pound the pavement. You know what you're looking for, know what type of quality you want to have produced. So I make my patterns, then I make my samples. I literally make my samples, but I have a team now that helps with the samples. And then I would take my pattern to New York City, and I will meet with my production team where we perfect the pattern. And then we put it into, put an order in for how many pieces do I want to cut for this particular dress and this particular color, those type of things. And then you have to set your schedule up. So you know that if I'm designing for spring, I may start in September or October, so that when January or February, March comes around, those pieces that I ordered back in September or October are ready to come in for the spring. But it's a process. Like, as I said, I've now had the boutique for 14 years. When I moved into the boutique, I had one rack of clothing. I had just one person that was helping me with sewing. I didn't have a production team. I may have had one answer of how to get to the next step, but I took a step. And so you have to take a step, not thinking, oh, because I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this, I can't start. You start, and then as you go along, you learn and you grow. You figure out what works, what doesn't. You perfect what is working, and then you let go of the things that are not working. And that is what has worked for me.
That sounds like my story. But I think that, so how did you know? So when you said you had to go to New York and pound the pavement and look for this,
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Like, how did you, so like saying you didn't know, it's like having the pieces, which is the pattern, and then setting it and you sewing. It's like, how did you know? I was like, okay, I need a production team. Like, and then how did you find a production team? How did you know to go to New York? And well, I guess that's a fashion hub and industry. Yeah. So, yes, and just tell us about that process.
Or like, say if you're in a fabric store and you may see a sign of somebody's looking for, or you looking to have your garments made or that type of thing. So you go and talk to this person. How many garments can you produce? What's the time frame? And then if they're not able to do what you need, then at least you got enough experience now to know, okay, so that particular company or person didn't have the capacity to do what I need. But then maybe he'll say, I can't do it, but I have this friend or this person. So those things and it's because it's the garment district, people know, folks know. And even like with my patterns. So it's a company that makes the patterns, the actual pattern, but then it's another company that does the sewing, the cutting and sewing. And so they may know each other. And so they'll say, oh, well, go to this company or what,
Oh, so almost like word of mouth and
it's so, oh my goodness, this is so interesting. Okay. So I got you questions.
I know.
Because I literally want to know, okay, so how did you say, you know what? I don't want I don't even know how to phrase this because I don't want to offend anybody, not you. But how did you know, of course you have, and Payless isn't open anymore, so I can say that. How did you know you didn't want to be the Payless? Because some people want to sell in quantity versus quality. Yeah. How did you know that, you know what, I'm going high end? Because that's rough, especially through all of these, like you say, ups and downs with economy and all that. How did you say I want high end, and how did you choose the demographics that you were going to target and all those types of things?
Well, for me, I've always, even when I first started out, I've always loved great fabrics. I've always loved great construction of a garment. And so I would find, like, say someone saw me and saw what I had on, and they would say, oh, I want that, or whatever the case is. Those that want it and are able to spend whatever your price is, they will they'll be attracted to you. You'll be attracted to them. Those that love what you do or appreciate your product, but are like, this, it's not in my price point right now, maybe down the line. So those people may refer someone that they know is more your client base. I didn't want to compromise on quality, style, fabric, those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just put out what you have. This is what I have, and this is what it costs. And those people that want it will pay for it.
Mm.
And so that's the mindset that I have, and it has worked for me because I know what I like, what I want.
Yeah, and so I'm just interested in knowing, and you don't have to give like exact numbers, but when you saying, okay, and how does it work? Because I know with for-profits, usually you like, I need some seed funding, because I know you're talking about having all these teams. Yeah,
Like, how much it costs?
and like even for me, okay, so let's just talk about the nonprofit industry and me starting. At least with me starting, definitely I use a lot of my money. Me and my family,
Right.
use my. But then we were able to apply for grants, to help support it. Now I will give shout out to the Wallaces, because they gave me the courage to even know I could own and operate a business.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
And I'm sure you have someone like, because I could never wrap my head around, how can I have a mortgage and then, have all these bills,
right.
then have a brick and mortar and then actually pay?
Yeah.
How do you do that? So for me, my question to you is, you saying that you had your brick and mortar and, and it was rough, but how do you, as a for-profit entity, even pay all these teams and then really great fabrics? I mean, at least we can ball on a budget. But when you're...
Fabrics are very expensive.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
For me, it has been that blood, sweat, and tears, that hustle and grind type of thing. I sell a dress, I put the money back into my business. I sell a dress, put it back into the business. And then over time, you start getting to the point where you have relationships with your production team, with your those people that are working with you, so that you can get terms where you can pay over time.
Okay. See, these are nuggets, terms. Okay. So keep your credit clean. Okay, and so they'll allow you to do that.
They allow you to do it. But the reality is, when you start the business, oftentimes, the majority of the time, we're all starting with our own money.
Okay.
Like you put whatever it is you have into it. And it could take time before a bank or a lending institution will say, okay, I'll loan you, or whatever the case is, because they want to see history. They want to see the experience. And so you had to do it like, us women, we would do what we got to do. I mean, we will hustle and learn. Oh, yeah. And they had, bring it to fruition. And that has been my way.
So, okay. So after, you got your boutique, you started, so when did you really feel like, and I don't know, this is the right term I want to use, but when did you feel like you got your stride, or when stuff was maybe picking up and you're like, oh, okay, this is I guess it becoming profitable, I guess.
You had to figure out, where's my client? How am I going to reach them? Like I had local clients, because working at the office, I had people that I knew, clients that I knew, or people that remembered me. So I had business, but then over time, not the same people are going to continue to buy. So you got to figure out who is your next client. And then I would start figuring out avenues of how to market and sell the product. I remember maybe a couple of years after opening the boutique, I was encouraged to go to the Essence Festival to set up and get a booth at the Essence Festival. And the Essence Festival was the thing that got me exposure and client across the country, right? All over, right? So that's probably your clientele that you wanted, because or the demographic you wanted. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's all levels. And so what it gave me, once I got to the Essence Festival and started selling, and then, because even at the Essence Festival, we didn't have dressing rooms. We had to do makeshift dressing rooms. But it's just so much love, sisterly love out there. Folks are like, oh, well,
just move these racks out, try behind the rack out, whatever the case is. This I stuff selling dresses. I mean, I get that small 10 by 10. It so and this builds up your confidence. It makes you say, oh, well, shucks, I'm going to have a product that's saleable that people want. And so just recently, I jump over the place sometimes. Just recently, I did a pop-up at Neiman Marcus in Atlanta. I go, oh, I know, if I crashed, that was like great. And how was it good? I think now, like, while I was at the at Neiman Marcus and all of these ladies were there shopping and it was so great. This one woman came up to me and she said, I remember you from the Essence Festival. I remember you were at the Essence Festival and I purchased one of your pieces. And she later sent me a picture of her with one of my dress, one of my pieces on. And it just made me feel good just to see the trajectory. Yeah, like this. So all those people that are watching, just know it does not happen overnight. You gotta put the time in. You gotta keep going in spite of whatever you think. Like if it's not working like you want it to, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep pivoting. You have to pivot as much as you have to, but just don't stop. Don't give up. If you have to go back and get a job, or if you want to start your side hustle before you leave your job, do it. Like time waits for nobody. You say, oh, I'm going to do it next year. I'm going to do it next year. 1 year turns into 2, 2 year turns into 5. And before you know it, you're like, oh my gosh, all this time has passed. Now you don't want to do it. So my encouragement would be whatever it is you want to do, you have a dream, you have a passion, you have a desire to start right where you are. Don't think about what you don't have. Think about what you do have and work up there. Okay, so we want to fast forward since you like to fast forward. Tell us about the moment you received the call that you were selected to dress the First Lady of Maryland. Well, I will tell you, I think I got the call 2 days after Governor Westmore won the election. I got the call. And they wanted to know if I had an appointment available for the First Lady of Maryland to come in for consult for a garment. And I said, I'm right there. Right there. And I thought, I'm going to hear already down. I have been to you. Oh, and when the First Lady came, we embraced. We were so excited. Just that whole love and she talked about how she wanted to look, what her vision was, talked about it, and we decided on the color. So I went to work, like I had to go source fabric, I had to make pattern, make the set. And then the First Lady asked if I would also create a look for their daughter, Mia. And she had sent me a message, and I was about to send her a message back saying, I don't do anything for kids. Then God stopped. Hey, I think that. That's what. Sent. Oh, man. I'll think about it. God said, with his daughter, you do. Lady, and I explained to her my fear. Like, I'm not very comfortable with a young girl's dress. So if I could get one of her dresses just to make sure I get the size right. And so we worked that out. And so we decided on the color that the First Lady wanted to wear. And she talked about the color that her favorite colors were. And then we had to take into consideration, we didn't know what the weather was going to be, whether it was going to be warm, whether it was going to be cold. So, and the look that the First Lady wore, she wanted to be comfortable, yet regal. She was regal, right? Yeah, so just to have, and I tell people even to this day, although I know I created the pattern, made the sample, I sourced the product, I did it all. It's still as if I had nothing to do with it. And the day of the inauguration, I was there. I was there the morning of with the First Lady, checking to make sure everything was fitting as it should. And it didn't hit me until I got home that night at 11 o'clock. We found a ball and had a ball. Got home, and just as I came in the door, I turned the television on, and it was like 11 o'clock, and the news was on, and they had the picture of the First Lady and the governor walking down the stairs. I said, oh my gosh, she looks amazing. Right. But it's just, if I had nothing, since I had that shows off that, like you, how it felt like I did that. And the outline, I see it inside.
So that's one of my questions. So I know you have it on your story on your profile on Instagram. Oprah Winfrey, the accolades that you got from that, like, how is that set in? I don't know. I think that will be our last question.
Just to be recognized, it's just an honorable, it's just an honor. It's a verse that says your gifts will make room. And I feel that that's what's happening. My gifts are making room. Is I'm using the gifts and talents that God has given me to get to the end. Exactly. So we call it blessed to be able to best to be against. So what does 2024 have for Miss Jody Davis and Jody Davis Designs? I know she had some stuff here for everybody. Yeah. So let's show it. Yeah. Oh, 2024. So one of the things I have is my we had this new headwear, this head and this is called ear to ear. And the thing that is so unique about this is the bonnet has slots. I don't want to put it on because then I would have to take my earrings and my glasses off. But the bonnets, they have slits. So when you put it on, you can put your fangs back on. You can have your earrings on. I have headbands. The headband is, like it's a regular headband, but you can wear it while you're working out. You can wear it while you're sleeping or whatever it is you're doing. And it has the slots so that you can put your frames and all that kind of stuff on. Doing that, just working on a couple of projects that I'm keeping under the wraps till we get more confirmation on it. Okay. So a couple of things. Where can they find the bonnets? Where can people find the bonnet? Not the bonnet. Yeah, the bonnets and that. We have a ponytail too, where it's a bonnet with you can put your ponytail in the bonnet. Oh, well, ponytail. Their website is called Ear to Ear, like ear, the number 2, TWO, ear is the website where you can purchase these products. All right. And where can they find you in your all your fashions? They can find me, Jody Davis. It's jodydavis.com. That's Jody with a Y. My boutique is at 110 West Saratoga in downtown Baltimore. Look us up on Instagram, IG, Facebook. We'd love to see you. Okay. So before we get out of here, we're only going to give you a few hot seat questions.
Yeah, hot seat questions. Okay, we're gonna do it fast. We got 4 minutes.
We'll get it.
Yeah, Chanel or Louis Vuitton. Would you rather be the richest person or the smartest person in the world?
Can I be in between? Smartest.
Okay, City or Poly? Would you rather have an action-packed adventure or a cozy night in? According to Belle Biv DeVoe, a girl is poison if she has what? Finish the reader.
Yeah.
Don't trust.
Oh, big button small head. Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather travel 10,000 years in the past or 10,000 years in the future?
10,000 years.
Okay. Boys to Men are New Edition. Would you rather have the ability, a mind reading ability or shape shifting ability? Okay. And lastly, Lil Kim or Sexy Red?
Lil Kim, that feels like pain to live. If you run out that God, that pass is Lil Kim. Okay. So guys, before we get out of here, we definitely have to talk about our upcoming fundraiser. Oh my goodness. Live on the Green. Tickets went on sale February 1st. I think they have like 2 or so left. It is a big deal. If you want to support us, this is how we pay for our pull-up and pickups, our Operation Sleigh Bells, all the awesome things that we're doing in the community. And it even lends itself for us to do some outside-the-box things for our trainees while they're here with us. So please visit us at, right here. Scan the QR code. You still have time to get in. If you don't want to golf, come to the reception. It's definitely a mixed mingle. I think we're calling it a mixed mingle, something like that, but a networking event. Ray is going to be there. So many different other players. Listen, come check us out. There are other ways for you to support our efforts also. Well, we're going to pass the offering plate right now.
You can support us. Go to Cash App. If you want to give us a donation, you can do Cash App, Givelify, PayPal, or Zelle. Or if you want to check out some of our cool apparel, go to our website, power52.org/shop, and you can see all of our awesome apparel there. Or we also have volunteer opportunities. You can come and volunteer with us.
Oh my goodness. So y'all, we have a lot of amazing things on here, Power 52. One thing we don't want you to miss, and that is our upcoming kissing booth on April 4th with the one and only Jay White, first name, last name from the Federal Code. Oh my goodness. It is going to be awesome. Don't forget the tune. And you want to talk about a side hustle, he has one for you. And it's turning into people's part-time hustle, right? But hey, thank you guys. Remember, life is short, so remember to forgive quickly, love truly, and kiss the community with your gifts. See you next time.
There you go.